guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zack.
We're back with BoJack.
No, don't worry about this guy. He's not important. I'll be here whenever you guys need me.
Tom. And we're back with BoJack Season 5, Episode 6.
Princess Carolyn went back to North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And she was going to adopt a baby from a teenager.
So
we found out.
Trailer trash.
Yeah. She was going to adopt a kid. And then we had flashbacks to when she had her first miscarriage. It was like a Rose Titanic story where because she got pregnant by this rich kid, she was going to get the family married into a better situation.
Yeah, and then she lost it.
Yeah, and then she goes off to college in the end.
And her mom, pisses on her fucking Wheaties there.
Yeah, she does.
She's like, oh, you blew it. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it was just kind of sad. It was a good one. That was our little pre-talk. Before we jump in, just remember you guys can support us by checking out our merch. You can also watch the next 2 weeks early access on Patreon, and we have a full link for everything that we do on there. Also, you should check out Andor because it's like one of our favorite shows we're doing. So go there, and we're gonna jump in now.
Yes, I see you. Get in.
Butterscotch.
In the bedroom to weep. Loudly. Now, it's one thing for a woman to weep, but when they do it at such a volume you can hear it through the door, that's when you know they're doing it just for the attention. Anyway, I was able to tell. And it suddenly dawned on me. Hot cock on a rock, she never even picked up the little noise and snot factory. So, here I am. Don't you sing those songs in your nightclub act called My Daddy Was My Mommy while gazing longingly at a tangled string of pearls. Pearls are for ladies, BoJack. Pearls are for ladies. You can't depend on women. You can't depend on anyone. Sooner or later, you need to learn that no one else is going to take care of you. That's what I learned when I had to make my own sandwich. You can't rely on other people, BoJack. Thank you.
Jeez.
Which like we've seen the mother act that way, but never the dad as much. But that was like a tirade.
How are you doing today? No, are you having an awesome day? Which is pretty shitty because it puts the onus on me to disagree with her. Like if I'm not having an awesome day, suddenly I'm the negative one. Usually when people ask how I'm today, I have a good reason. So I said to her, well, my mom died. And she immediately burst into tears. So now I have to comfort her, which is annoying. And meanwhile, there's a... Okay, well, that's my time. You've been great. Tip your waitress. No, I'm just kidding around. There's no waitress. But seriously, that's all I have to say about my mother. No point beating a dead horse, right? So...
Oh.
I don't know. Can I just say how amazing it is to be in a room with my mother and I can just talk and talk without her telling me to shut up and make her a drink? Hey, Mom, knock once if you think I should shut up. No? You sure? No? You're a funeral. Sorry about the closed casket, by the way. She wanted an open casket, but, she's dead now, so who cares what she wanted? No, that's it. It looked like this. Kind of like a pissed-off toy dinosaur. Or as my mom called it, Tuesday. Tuesday. My mom called it Tuesday. Hey, Mom, what you think of that joke? My mother had a surprise for me. She had bought me the jacket. And even though she didn't know how to say it, I knew this meant that she loved me. Now that's a good story about my mother. It's not true, but it's... Hey, Mom, knock once if you love me and care about me and want me to know that I made your life a little bit brighter. My mother. I see you. It's the last thing she said to me. I see you. Not a statement of judgment or disappointment, just acceptance and the simple recognition of another person in a room. Hello there. You are a person. How I was needy and a burden and an embarrassment. All that I was ready for. I was not ready for, I see you. Only my mother would be lousy enough to swipe me with a moment of connection on her way out. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show called Horsing Around. Please hold your applause. And I remember one time a fan asked me, was that because the show was making a statement about the fluctuant subjectivity of memory and how even two people can experience the same moment in entirely different ways? And I didn't have the heart to be like, And maybe this is like that coffee cup. Maybe we're dumb to try to pin significance onto every little thing. Maybe when someone says, I see you, it just means, I see you. Then again, it's... Who are you talking to, Mom? Not saying, huh? Staying mum? No one's man. So he demanded satisfaction in the form of pistols at dawn. He wrote in the paper this letter saying anyone who didn't like his book, he would challenge to a duel. Anyone in the world. He'd even pay for airfares. But in the middle of the 10 paces, Dad turned to ask the guy if he'd actually read the book and what he thought. But not looking where he was going, tripped over an exposed root and bashed his head on a rock. I wish I'd known to go to... What's the difference between a first-year lit major and my mother, Beatrice Horseman? One is decently read, and the other is a huge bitch. You're not a huge bitch. You were a huge bitch. And now you're dead. Dad hated the parties. He'd lock himself in the study and bang on the walls for us to keep it down. But he always came out to see Mom dance. He'd linger in the doorway, scotch. He knew what it's like to feel your entire life like you're drowning. With the exception of these moments. These very rare, brief instances in which you suddenly remember you can swim. But then again, mostly not. Mostly you're drowning. But there was an understanding that we were all drowning together. And I would like to think that that's what she meant when we were in the hospital and she said, I see you. You know, the weird thing about both your parents... Fell off a building. I'm an actor. I do my own stunts. I'm on this new show, Philbert. I'm Philbert, star of the show. Hasn't even come out yet, but it's already getting Emmy buzz. Oh, speaking of buzz. He doesn't even know what morning means anymore.
More than two.
Let you guys figure that one out for yourselves. Anyway, you know what I thought?
Guy to mix some painkillers with alcohol.
It was written by my friend Herb Kazaz, who's also dead now, and it starred this little girl named Sarah Lynn. And it was about these orphans. And early on, the network had a note. Maybe don't mention they're orphans so much because audiences tend to find orphans sad and not relatable. But I never thought the orphans were sad. You can't have happy endings in sitcoms, not really, because if everyone's happy, the show would be over. And above all else, the show has to keep going. There's always more show. And you never get a happy ending because there's always more show. But I keep going back to that moment in the ICU when she looked at me and I see you. I see you. Jesus Christ. We were in the intensive care unit. Showed more compassion than my mother gave me her entire goddamn life. Like, how hard is it to do something nice for a person? This woman at the Jack in the Box didn't even know me. I'm your son. All I had was you. And months later, she told me that she didn't understand why she was still upset because she never even liked her father. It made sense to me because I went through the same thing when my dad died. And I'm going through the same thing now. And that's what losing a parent is like. It's like Becker. Suddenly you realize you'll never have the good relationship you wanted. And as long as they were alive. And everything is worse now. Because now I know I will never have a mother who looks at me from across the room and says, BoJack Horseman, I see you. But I guess no point beating a dead horse. Beatrice Horseman was born in 1938 and she died in 2018, and I have no idea what she wanted. Is this funeral parlor B?
Louise. That was the... I mean, it was an incredible, powerful, like, just performance by, what's his name?
Will Arnett?
Yeah. It was just an odd episode, and I don't think it's necessarily a criticism. But it's, I don't know, what do you think?
I gave a few details. I mean, it opens up with his conversation with his dad.
Yeah.
And that entire episode seems like it was just one big spewing out of everything his dad ever gave him in those instances.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like the same exact kind of conversation where he's fucking monologuing.
Yeah.
And there happens to be somebody else in the room.
And there's so much unhappiness, you know the line that I think she was drowning and my dad was drowning and I was drowning, but it was understood that we were all drowning together.
Yeah.
I mean, he said a lot of crazy shit. I think that, I mean, I don't want to say I have anything close to his life. I got a pretty decent relationship with my parents. It's not perfect, and I've had moments where I probably thought it was pretty bad when I was younger. I know people who've had pretty bad relationships with their parents or don't even know one of their parents, and it just, I don't know. It was unfortunate, you know, some of the things he said about her.
The most relatable piece I picked out of that eulogy was something I've arrived at in my life, too, is that people pinning significance on life and events.
Yeah.
And like how people, I feel, humanity at large does it, but they want to believe there's so much more. They want to believe there's something that happens after this. They want to believe it.
Yeah.
They attach significance to their lives and to everything that's going on around them because they want that. So they put it there and they imagine it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you pin significance in everything that happens. Like, oh, this is a miracle. This was that. Where it could just as easily be, you know, an instance of chaos.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think of the episode?
I thought it was it's really deep. It was a little disturbing. I mean, obviously, you know, I can't exactly relate to him. You know, I grew up without a dad. I never knew my real dad, so you know, I don't have that physical relationship to draw on. But like something I noticed in the opening scene when they were driving in the car was, you know, his dad says to him, you know, you can't depend on women and you can't depend on other people. Yeah. And I feel like, even though he might have been a little dismissive at the time, I feel like that might have been sort of a prelude in an inside to maybe he actually took that to heart, you know, because of the way he acts now.
Well, I think he impressed it on him.
Yeah. I mean, with his promiscuity with women and how he treats women and how he tends to push other people away and is distrusting of people. It's like, well, maybe he took that in a literal sense, like you said, if it was impressed upon him from his dad, just constantly pounding that into his head, maybe he just literally just bought into it, you know?
No, yeah, I think he certainly did, and just, I don't know, having like the mother and a father figure are like having both of those masculine and feminine energies. You know, I think it's important normally. I think it's important in raising children and having both parents there, and they were both particularly pretty bad parents. Beatrice, I mean, she had a pretty tragic life. You know what I mean? Everything that she went through, and
yeah, it wasn't good for her parents to stay together and be there.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah,
to be in her life is important, but for them to stay together the way they did, and for his parents to stay together the way they did, it was not for the better.
No, it's certainly not.
Not that I'm sure that they may have gotten any better. Regardless of circumstance, they kind of seem like the people that would.
Well, just having both parents being good parents to their children. That they were both pretty bad parents, and even after he grew up and got out of the house, it seemed like they were both bad parents.
Yeah, they still sucked.
Yeah.
I think Zack kind of summarized it best when he's like spewing. Like, I think BoJack's whole speech was this, like, years of pent up anger and like stuff that maybe he did actually say along the line, but that he wanted to say that it just built up, and that was his venting. Nothing absolved. Like, nothing ever came about to make it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like, in the end, she was shitty to him, and she died shitty to him. And he had never got any absolution from it. It was never like, it made it all like, you finally are this. Like you said, and now I know she's never going to be that mother.
Yeah, because now it's the show's not going to go on for her.
No.
And it's just a hell of a thing. Yeah, not much to talk about. I mean, honestly, I just Will Arnett just gave a great performance, I think, and I think he said a lot of things that maybe not me personally, even though I everything he said, I think we touched on it, but I think there's a lot of people who probably watched this and it fucking hit home for them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is one of those episodes where, you know, I don't imagine wanting to rewatch.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to rewatch the series after we finish it.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. It's just like one big requiem for a dream.
Yeah.
I don't need that shit in my life anymore.
Yeah, I'd need it when I watched it then.
Yeah, I know. Now I know I don't need it, though. It set the bar.
Yeah.
There's a gauge there now.
Yeah.
Says, no, we're not going here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like that place on the edge of the map.
Yeah.
The map of my fucking entertainment, and over here is Requiem for a Dream. We don't go there.
I think the witch is on the other side.
The witch?
Yeah.
The witch is pretty close to that.
Yeah.
It's like right there, but I don't like.
Well, as soon as we
baby
do
scene is
the,
hard.
which I don't think it's going to happen this time, as soon as we do the Star Wars holiday special, I guarantee it's going to be over here. Or
That might be.
It's going to be one of the, yeah.
one end of the spectrum.
Yeah. I'm not one of those people who love things because they're so bad. Because some people, they're so bad, people love them. Like, I don't think that's
what that movie came out, the Room.
Yeah. Like,
everyone just loved it. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
But I just know everyone always made such a claim for it because it's so bad.
It's good.
That we love it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, why? I don't want to put that in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I did
love... Like Two Girls, One Cup. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I also...
I've got the gist. Okay? I don't need it in my head.
I did love James Franco's movie based off that movie, though.
I haven't seen that.
It just...
To me, it's
a lot more
closer.
It's a lot more endearing. It's really,
like there's the room over here.
It's about his
you're getting there.
Yeah.
James Franco is holding your hand while you go.
Yeah, it's about the struggle that he went through to become, you know what I mean? But, whatever. They did mention a show called Muad, M-U-A-D. I never watched it, but I just remember my parents would watch, I think, Family Matters and all these other shows. I remember that show was always previewing. I remember this old guy with a mustache was looking at his wife going, Maud. And I was like, that's a terrible name, Maud. Maud, yeah. And BoJack is 54. I thought he was late 40s, early 50s. They confirmed he's 54. And this is like the seventh. I don't know. I can't remember what season this is. Season 5. And it probably started, So
is my math right? Was his mom 80?
Yeah,
38,
79 or 80, yeah.
38 to 2018, yeah. I mean, no, this was a very different episode, and I do like when the show experiments and gives us something new and crazy. No, it was a deep one. I don't want to call it high quality entertainment because I don't know if we're supposed to feel entertained.
Well, at first when he kept going on, I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna stop?
Yeah.
But as he kept going, I'm like, oh, I got into it. But then after it went on a little longer, it's like, oh my god, is it gonna stop?
No, yeah.
There's a head ups and downs.
It did, and like I don't want to say I'm entertained, but I think I'm affected. And I think we're just supposed to be affected by it.
Only one man wants to know if you're entertained, Shane. His name is Russell Crowe.
Yeah, and you know what? And his definition, the answer would be no. But no, I think I summed it up. It was emotionally effective.
We talked it to death, Tom. Do you have anything else to add?
It did what it was supposed to do. It did its job for this episode, I guess.
He did the ICU moment. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, that was funny, and it was like, Jesus, can this get any worse? And then he wasn't in the right fucking funeral parlor or whatever.
Yeah, well, it was the rotten cherry on top of the crappy cake that he got for a
shit
family.
Sunday.
Yeah,
he's like, why did they not say anything to begin with? They endured all of that.
He endured like Alfred told Batman to do for the people of Gotham.
Yeah.
That's how well they endured.
Endure.
All right, that's it.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in here. If you like what we do, like and subscribe. Maybe one day you'll get a monologue like that from us. Maybe not. At any rate, find the link tree, find the shit you need to on it. Comment down below if you want to, and we'll read them when we'll see you.
Your grandpa. Hey! They do it again.